so pumped and excited for today's guest on Off the Podium. When you think about the Paralympics in this country, you think about this man because he's one of the most dominant athletes going around in any Paralympic sport right now. Since his bronze medal at the Beijing Paralympics in para-snowboarding, he has gone on to become a world champion, multiple Crystal Globe winner, multiple World Cup medal winner, and by far one of the faces of winter parasport, not only in Australia, but the world. Let's just say that, the world. It is an absolute pleasure to welcome to Off the Podium, the one, the only Mr. Ben Tudhope. Ben, welcome to Off the Podium.
Hey, Ben, thank you. What an intro.
We always start high. We always like to really just get you pumped and excited so that way if it turns to shit, you just could remember the introduction. And plus, your name's Ben. How can I not talk you up, all right? We need more Bens on this show because it's the best name in the world, right?
It's easy to remember, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, it's probably got to go all downhill. Yeah.
That's what we do in this show. We like to do that. But I kind of want to do a bit of opposite of what we usually do. We usually start at the beginning on this show. How did you get into your sport? How did your journey begin? But I want to start at the very now, right now. We are recording this in October of 2025. That makes it about 4 months away from what will be your fourth Paralympics, which is crazy to me, Ben, because you're still so young. We're going to touch on that. But how's it going right now? 4 months away from a Paralympic. This is just old school for you now. You've done a few of these right now, so I can imagine you're sort of just used to this sort of period between a Paralympics and now.
You know what's funny? Probably from 3 years ago up until now, I've always said Milano-Cortina is about 1 year away. It's just a number that keeps on coming up whenever anyone asks. And so when you or anyone reminds you, all right, 6 months ago, or 5 months ago, now 4 months ago, it's like, oh shit, it's actually kind of coming up. But I'm probably the most relaxed going into this game just because I do have the experience of each games of mine and having so many highs from Beijing winning the bronze to lows in Korea when I didn't podium or didn't get the result I wanted, and then the fun I had as a 14-year-old when I was in Sochi. All of that experience has kind of come to help me now prepare for this games. I'm probably the most relaxed, most chill going into this.
I like to hear. And is it sort of that level of, because you're so used to this now, you know what to expect, that mentally that puts you in a much better place? I mean, we're going to touch on sort of the great results you've achieved since Beijing, but do you feel helping you now? Because this isn't young 14, 13-year-old Ben going to your first ones or sort of in your teens, because you're just so used to now what this cycle is like and preparing for a Paralympics.
Yeah, totally. I think our mental and our physical training that I have done, that we have done as a team, and that had definitely helped me prepare to get to this moment, to where I am. And the whole Australian sports cycle had definitely, I guess, gone more into that mental health and physical health of what it actually is to be an athlete. And I think all of that combined with that experience of knowing, okay, we got 4 years to go. Okay, we got 3 years to go. Okay, now it's a year of the games. Everything is ramping up. Media is ramping up. Training's ramping up. The snowboarding is ramping up. It's like, okay, I actually know now what it's like to do that ramp up and be at such a high level going into the games.
And is that all structured from yourself, your coaches, your support staff, that once, say, you hit October, you know what you're doing? Once you hit November, so it's that structured right up until day one of competition in Milano-Cortina?
Yeah, I guess so. Now it's my team around me. It's definitely my coach who creates a program, who creates everything for us. It's not just me now. I was the only Australian athlete going into Beijing, but on the para snowboard team. But now I got a couple of teammates around me, which I think is really cool and good for me. But I guess what it's come down to is taking little pieces of everyone who has influenced me and kind of forming my own little routine, my own little program to be mentally and physically as prepared as I can be to achieve the goals I want in Milan.
And in terms of qualification, competition, sort of what is it looking like on that side of things between now and March?
Yeah, we had our kind of qualification last season. And so our World Championships gave us the quota spots for Australia, which I was able to qualify a spot for Australia. And now I haven't qualified just yet. But Australia still need to pick me. But I'm still the only Australian in our category, in my category, going for the Paralympics. And so, yeah, unless there's a little 14-year-old coming in this season who bites me under the ass and absolutely dominates me, I'm probably got to go to the game.
I was going to say, I'm not a betting man, Ben, but if I was, I'd probably put a bit of money on to say that you would be going. I would be thinking that you would have a pretty good chance of being selected. You mentioned little 14-year-olds. Like, this still blows my mind that you were 14 in Sochi, because if I'm not mistaken, is this still the record for the youngest ever Winter Paralympian in the history? And obviously Australia, but isn't this the world as well? You are the youngest ever Winter Paralympian?
It is.
Wow.
I hope that record true to myself. It's probably going to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
I'll say that, just because the qualification to get to a Paralympics is quite harder now in the winter sport. When I look back on it, it is kind of funny to me that I am. But yeah, I guess, yeah, from when I was 14 to now, yeah, it's been such a journey, but I still look back on those days with such grace and such happiness that I did experience the games at that time. But yeah, going back to your question, yes, I am still the world's youngest Winter Paralympian. And yeah, hopefully after these games, I still will be.
It's such an insane stat. And also the fact that, you're 25 now and you're about to become a 4-time Paralympian. Like, by the age of 25, I mean, if you keep going to your 40, you're going to be like a 10-time Paralympian. Like, I mean, this is just insane, those stats. I was barely just over 13 when I'm watching the Sydney Olympics, dreaming of growing up to become an Olympian. And yet a year removed from that, you're going on to do that. Because you were 8 when you started, right? So you were, 6 years basically from starting snowboarding. You're going to a Paralympic.
Yeah, I guess I was 8 when I started. I've been a part of the ski world my whole life, I guess. I'm very fortunate that my parents love skiing and snowboarding. So I first saw snow when I was 6 months old, started skiing when I was 3 years old, and then my older sister was snowboarding at the time. And I never took to skiing. I'm not too sure why. I just never really liked it. And yeah, I saw her snowboarding, and my dad was snowboarding as well at the time. And all I wanted to do was jump on the snowboard. And the funny thing was is that the mountain at the time, Mount Hotham, they didn't allow you back then 20 years ago to jump on the snowboard or start doing snowboard lessons until you were 8 years old.
Wow.
And so there was a bit of anticipation from about the age of 5, 6 till when I was 8, and 2 years when you're that old is a very, very, or that young, I should say.
Yeah.
Is a very long time. And so I think that's what actually fueled the passion for snowboarding. Even before I jumped on the snowboard, I just knew I was so interested and knew I was going to love it, that when I did jump on the snowboard, it kind of just clicked right like that.
And was that automatically then a dream? Like, as soon as you got that taste that you wanted to push towards the Paralympics and represent Australia?
Nah. I had no idea what the Paralympics were.
Wow.
When I started out snowboarding. For context, I do have cerebral palsy, left side hemiplegia, and I was diagnosed when I was 12 months old. My parents were told that I may never be able to walk or talk. But the greatest thing they did was they didn't wrap me in cotton wool, and they treated me as equal. So they were throwing me down mountains, just letting me hang out with anyone, everyone, and do exactly what my sisters were doing. And so that's really where I took the skiing and took the snowboarding. I was no good when I started snowboarding, but I guess my older sister, like I said, she was actually very naturally talented at snowboarding. So she wanted to start taking lessons and actually get into training a bit more. And so as a younger sibling, I kind of just got pushed into it, forced into it, but I got pushed into an able-bodied group. And about the whole cohort of snowboarders in that kind of young age within the sports club, no one knew I had a disability, and probably 70-80% of the parents didn't even know I had a disability at all. And I was no good when I started snowboarding, but slowly and slowly I started gaining a bit of talent, and um it was my goal just to be the best snowboarder I could be. There was a dream to be an Olympic gold medalist, like every single other kid. But growing up, I had no idea what the Paralympics were, or seeing anyone with a disability or a person like me on their screens. And so it wasn't until at the age of about, I would say 11, maybe 10, that I was in training, and the head coach of the Perisher Winners Sports Club knew the Paralympic head coach at the time. And he connected us together. And I kind of went under this head coach of the Paralympic team. It was all the big buzzword, all the big kind of dream of mine. I never kind of represented the Paralympics at all, didn't really know what it was. But I just got kind of thrown again into this team, into this new team, and I saw these people with different disabilities, different aspects of life, all different walks of life. But what kind of drew me to it and drew me to love it so much is the disability was the last thing that mattered. And it was like they were just there to snowboard and have fun and talk and connect like my Winter Sports Club friends. There was no difference. And so that's kind of what my first introduction to the Paralympics was. And actually, a kind of funny story, the coach of the Paralympic team at the time, great guy, American guy, Pete Higgins, he just had leg surgery when I got introduced to him, and he was on crutches. And so when he was introducing me to the Paralympic team, he was fully on crutches, and he looked the most disabled out of everyone. And so yeah, that was just hilarious. But yeah, from there, it was a kind of 2 or 3 year thing where I just was under the wing of this coach, snowboarding with the team, getting introduced, getting more comfortable with the team. And then sorry, I should have mentioned this before, but the 2014 games, this was about in 2011, was the first ever para snowboard.
I was going to ask that, yeah, because it was still like fairly new in terms of at least being on that scale, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
In 2010, the International Paralympic Committee announced it was going to be a sport at the Paralympics at the 2014 Games. And so this coach was actually juggling and trying to get a whole bunch of people with disabilities, a whole kind of team together, all on his own. He was kind of not under any organisation, any federation. Snow Australia, no one knew what to do with us really, but he kind of formulated it. And then in 2013, I was 13 at the time, he gave me an opportunity to go overseas and start competing with the smallest chance of making it to the 2014 Games, which I needed some very good results to get. And there was no quota spots. There were no, there was no spot for me. But I went overseas and started competing at my first comp at 13 years old. I got onto the course and I was tiny. Like I looked like an 8-year-old when I was
I've
13.
seen photos. You look a lot younger than you are. Yes.
You can back me up here. And so everyone on tour thought I was somebody's younger brother. And they were laughing, going, "Oh, who's this guy?" And then they're like, "Oh no, you're competing against him." They were like, "Oh shit, he actually has some talent here. We don't want to get beaten by a 13-year-old." And so, yeah, I got some pretty good results in my first couple comps with my family traveling with me. My mom was traveling with me by my side, still on the Paralympic team, like fully. And then I got a wild card to go and compete at the Sochi Games, and it was just a dream come true. I got that wild card about a month out of the game, so it was really late to find out if I was going or not. But yeah, it was the best moment of my life back then. I still have faint memories of it, but yeah, I just to find out that I would go into the games was phenomenal.
What an incredible story. I mean, I don't know why this is the first question that jumps to my mind when you tell that story, Ben, but what the hell do you tell your school? Hi, guys. I'm going to be away for a few weeks. Kind of going to Russia.
Oh, my. The funny thing is, the first thing that comes to my mind is, oh, my God, I'm going to be away from school for the whole term.
You don't care.
I get to have time off. And when you're in year 8, year 9, you don't care about school at all. And so, yeah, school was actually really supportive of me.
Yeah.
It took a couple years to get there. When I started out snowboarding and we were doing weekend trips away and we would go down on the weekend, we'll come back on a Sunday night to go to school. They were a bit skeptical of that. But once I made the Paralympic team and got onto actually competing at the games, they became a lot more supportive of me.
Yeah, I can imagine once they turn on, what would have been Channel 10 back then or whatever it was, and they see you there with
ABC for us.
ABC, of course, right, of course. Yeah, it was. Yeah,
at the games.
Yeah, wow. And what an incredible story, man. I mean, it's sort of always that level I like to ask our guests of when does it sort of hit you that you're an Olympian, a Paralympian, moments of getting announced, the uniform, walking out onto the ceremony, the course. But do you even have that at that age? Are you even aware of what that is to become a Paralympian? Because you're so ridiculously young that I don't know if you can compute what that actually means.
I don't think so. I don't think it ever actually sunk in that I'm on this world stage, it's the biggest sporting event or second biggest sporting event in the world. You've got millions of people watching you. I don't think at 14 I truly knew how grand the Paralympics were, how much pressure you feel, as most athletes feel. For me, I was just excited to go there, excited to meet everyone, excited to get my uniform, put on the green and gold, have a laugh, meet all these cool people, meet my idols of the Paralympic world that have been in it for a couple of years now. So I knew kind of some of the big icons at the games. And to be honest, at Sochi, I probably spent 60-70% of my time in the arcade, in the games room, playing I remember there was this motorbike car riding game. It was just a race, and I spent literally all my time there. I think there was a high scoreboard, and my name was 1 to 10.
Wow! So you got the gold. You got the gold in that game, then.
I got the gold there. Yep.
All right. Well, update your bio. That should be on there that you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Gold medalist. It's such an incredible way to look at that too, because it's sort of even back to what you were sort of saying about that people thought you were younger than you were, so that you were like this little brother of somebody on that side of things. Is that then when you're in the village and kind of playing the games and that sort of stuff? I mean, it sounds like an odd question maybe, Ben, but are people taking you seriously that you actually are an athlete there competing because you are not only that young, but you look probably half the age that you actually are?
I think, Some people, yes, some people, no. The important people definitely took me seriously. The Australian team took me seriously. My competitors on the snowboard world took me seriously because I think I earned their respect to actually get there. I spent that, although it was a very fast jump because it was my first season on tour.
Mm.
I did because I did get some good results. I got fourth at my first World Cup, and then going forward had some pretty good results and earned my way into the games. That yeah, I definitely got the respect from all the other competitors, even though they definitely didn't want to get beaten by a 14-year-old.
No.
But I think around the village, around just around the whole vibe, the whole Sochi village and everything, the skiers, the Nordic, some people, some other countries who didn't really know who I was, definitely were like, oh, who's this little shit? Like, yeah, and I was probably excited. I was probably didn't. I was running around talking to everyone, and probably annoying half the competitors on tour.
They deserve that if they're not taking you
Yeah,
seriously, Ben.
I
Come
don't
on.
really care. Come
Nah,
on, like
screw
I'm
'em.
14.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what you're there to do.
Exactly. And when you're 14, again, like you're sort of in that magical part of life where you are developing to a point where, you know, you start to be aware of things and you start to care a little bit more, but you're still kind of in that childhood where you don't give a shit. You're just gonna do what you want to do because you're a bloody kid. Who cares? So you know what a moment. The development too that I found really interesting in the cross discipline is that so Sochi, this was basically like a heat-based format, right? So you're just basically racing the clock. Then when it gets to Pyeongchang, it's a heats but against one other competitor. And then by the time we get to Beijing and where we're at now, we're sort of on par with what we see at the Olympics where it's like a four-person race, multiple people race. Is that correct? So it's like developed pretty much a lot in the last 10 years from when you first started.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head right there, Ben. And I could talk about this today. Like, this is a development, this is a growth for our sport, which I absolutely love. And yes, in Sochi, it was probably the skill level, our courses, our everything wasn't quite there. We were still in the very early days of our sport. It was the first games, and yes, probably if it was, let's say, going on to Beijing and I was coming into the sport now, would I be a Paralympian at 14? Probably not. Would my skill level be at that level to get to the Paralympics? Probably not. But our sport has developed so much, and I'm fortunate to be born and be able to be where I am at that moment because I've seen the growth of our sport. And yeah, like you said, we went from a one-person format on the cross course against the clock, against the time, to two people on a course, one person advances. You had two people in the big final, two people in the small final. In the big final, both of you get medals. In the small final, only one person gets a medal, and the fourth place or whoever comes second in the small final gets out. Those years were in our sport were I didn't like that format the best, and it was definitely quite challenging to get to a final, or it just didn't quite work with border cross, and it wasn't really border cross.
No, I was going to say because that's not what I think. Like that's a different discipline.
It's a different sport, and so a lot of us, a lot of athletes, a lot of the higher end athletes, I would say, were fighting to do the 4 at a time, four on course in what you see at the Olympics, and also at that time between 2015 and 2018. Like our sport was at the X Games, and it was showing off some of our, I don't want to say our bottom end riders didn't get to enjoy that, but definitely the top end riders, because there is quite a big skill deviation in our sport still, just because of different disability levels and different impairments, which I absolutely adore. Like I love that about our sport, but yeah. Going back to what I was saying, at X Games, we were doing six at a time and we were on the able-bodied course and we were showing off our sport and pushing our sport. But when we would come back to our World Cup, it would like be a massive degrade or massive decrease in the actual course size and the amount of people racing. And so when we did finally go from 2018 into Beijing, which has only been one games, but our border cross has developed now to being at a level of the exact same as the Olympic counterparts that we train with and we compete with, and we are pushing to actually beat as well. We now racing, four at a time, and I'm excited that happened in Beijing, and I'm really excited to show off our sport and show off the skill level in Cortina as well.
Before I touch more on that, I should mention about Sochi. You know, obviously different discipline, but you're touching on everything that you touched on there before. Your first year on the tour as well, which I think is a very important thing to note. You still get 10th at the Paralympics in 2014. And that's not to sit here and say there are only 11 or 12 people in the field. There's like more than 30 people in the field here, Ben. So for somebody who has just come up through the ranks, hit the tour on the first go around, made a Paralympics a month out from them starting, for you to then be 10th in the world at 14, I mean, that's pretty insane, your development to get to that point so quickly.
Yeah, that top 10 goal of mine was definitely in the back of my head. I never said it to the media. I never said it even to my parents, I don't think, even to my coach, but a top 10 result at that games was my total goal. Like, I wanted it, I can say, like, I wanted that so badly, but because I didn't say it to anyone, I think the pressure and the excitement of being at my first games at such a young age and actually not having external pressure on me from Australia, from the media, from my team, from my coach, it actually allowed me to perform way better. And I think there was about, like you said, 33 athletes competing. And so I think everyone, because it was the first games, it was such an exciting time. There was a crowd, there was TV, we'd never seen this before. At the games, everyone was kind of heightened and excited but nervous and run through emotion. And so I was able to kind of stay chill, stay relaxed, stay my 14-year-old self and just have fun on course. And although like fun doesn't get you a medal or fun doesn't get you your goal, but I think that was my secret power where it just took all my stress away and my talent and my actual snowboard ability showed up on that day to get that 10th place.
That's one thing I always seem to get from you too, though, Ben, is that you always do seem to be having fun. You're always smiling. You're always happy. You, even through any interview you do or anything with the media, you're always just such an engaging personality. And then fast forwarding to Beijing, I did see in one of the interviews you did afterwards, you said at that moment that the bronze felt like a gold. Like these are sort of moments like that I just respect for you to come out and be that way. But back to my earlier question about mental ability and kind of using that to your strength, is that fun nature, always having a smile, that what I'm saying, do you feel help you compete to your best with that mental ability mixed with the physical ability to be what you are?
Yeah, honestly, I try to take that into every single race that I go into or compete in, or absolutely everything I do in training, in competing, and just freeriding. How do I explain this? It's always hard to formulate into words, but I feel like the best time I've had snowboarding is like before the competition, before anything. I was just snowboarding to be a snowboarder, to get better at snowboarding. And so like when I was 9, 10, 11 years old, and so I truly identify as being a snowboarder. And what brings me most joy is actually being on the mountain, taking a free ride run, just snowboarding as pure as it is every single day. And so I kind of take that kind of mindset and that mentality. And no one has taught me that. Like, that had just come naturally to me. And I guess also I'm just a naturally fun, kind of energetic person and happy, and everything you just said as well. I probably talk a bit too much too.
It all comes with the name Ben, mate. It's just you're born a
Exactly.
Ben. All those personality traits come with you.
Exactly. Yeah. Ben's alike, you know.
Yep.
But I think that's truly a secret power of mine, where I take that mindset into this competition, into this high pressure state at competing at a Paralympic final, competing at a World Cup final, World Championship, X Games back in the day as well. And so, yeah, now every day on a snowboard is a bonus. And so that pressure is taken away from me at those high stake events, because I'm like, oh, I'm just doing what I love. I'm just snowboarding because it's fun. And so that competition aside, I guess the result is not going to take away that day snowboarding. And so no day can be a bad day.
And I guess it also mixes with you touching on the word pressure there, is that, as you said earlier, you're 14 years old in Sochi. Not a lot of people know who the hell you are. People think you're somebody's little brother. Not a lot on you there. But now when we head into your fourth Paralympics, you're going into this a little bit differently. You won a bronze medal at the last Paralympics. You won a world championship in between then, a couple of crystal globes. So your name is going to be at the top of everybody's list as one of the favourites for a gold medal. So it's using everything that you're saying there as that superpower to, I guess, balance what is going to come from your fourth Paralympics versus where you were 11 years ago in your first.
I think I enjoy that pressure, and I enjoy that kind of being hunted feeling by my competition. I think what the media in all of winter sport don't really touch on is the actual competition aside. It's like Australia, like when winter sports actually don't really get much attention from the media a lot. Like, we get it once every 4 years, and everyone's kind of used to that now. And when they touch on it, they talk about like the top athletes being the gold medal favorite, being the favorite, and they can't be beaten. They can't be beat. But what they don't actually talk about is who's their competition and who's actually coming up to other countries and everything like that. And so it's exactly the same in my sport, where there is competition. And look, I know I'm one of the best in my category, in my sport, and I know on the day, if I'm riding to the best of my ability, I can pull out that performance to land me on the podium or land me on the top spot. But that pressure that comes with it is actually, I think, all external. And if you can distinguish the external pressure from the internal pressure and focus on the internal pressure, because I think for me, I give myself the most pressure, which I'm a perfectionist. I set myself a really high standard. And so nothing from the external pressure or the media or the team or anyone can take that away from me, because I know if I'm at the top of my game, and I hit myself the hardest if I don't actually compete or not get the result I wanted, because I think that's something completely different. But if I do all the right things myself that I know I've checked each box, I will perform the best on the day.
I love hearing it put that way, Ben, because I think I can't agree with you more, particularly with our winter athletes, is that, we do have a very short attention span in our country when it comes to paying attention. And I think it's always, there's so many examples, I think, in the history of Australian winter athletes, be it the Paralympics or the Olympics, where it almost seems like the pressure does get to the athletes because they do so well in World Cups and everything, and then they get to an Olympics and all of a sudden Channel 7, Channel 9 are doing all this stuff that they're not getting, they're used to, and that sort of stuff. And then the catch-22 of that is then everybody almost goes off at them for doing badly, and yet I come from that era where I grew up on the Olympic side of things when, we were celebrating a bronze from Zali Stegel. We're celebrating the, speed skaters getting a bronze in Lillehammer, like small achievements. Whereas we mentioned Sochi. I remember during those Olympics, all the pressure that was on the late, great Chumpy Pullen. And it was almost like a given that he was going to win a gold. And then when he didn't, everybody was like, oh my God, this is a tragedy. Like, no, I loved hearing you explain it that way, because I think it's so important to put it in that context so people can understand that side of it.
Yeah, it's something I wish all of Australia kind of knew and just kind of follow our sports just that bit more. Watching Jakarta, watching the able-bodied border cross, it's like Australia isn't the only country that exists, and it's not like watching the AFL or the NRL where each side and you got fans on this side and then fans on that side. I won't name teams, but every single player who's playing, and the media talks about that side and that side. But for us, it's like like you said, there's so much pressure coming into it that we're kind of not used to. And so, of course, there's got to be some athletes who get all sucked into it and they don't know what to do and they explode. And if you come out and you win or you get a gold or you get a medal, you're celebrated, you're loved, you get everything. But even if you get forced, you kind of are forgotten.
Which I think and going to what you're saying about if you leave Milano-Cortina next year having left it all out there on the course, and hypothetically you don't come away with a medal, you're still going to leave that you did everything in your power to achieve that result. And some of our most favorite stories on this podcast over any Paralympics or Olympics, Ben, are those athletes who can leave the games and medal or not, but they're just so happy and satisfied with their result. And again, I think, and it's not just an Australian issue, this is an issue in lots of different countries who are used to a level of success, is that I think we lose track of what that actually means to be an Olympian or a Paralympian, and just even to qualify for an Olympics or a Paralympics is an achievement we should be celebrating. It's a simple way to look at it.
Yeah, I think going into my fourth games now, I've seen every single side of it, and so I can kind of formulate my own kind of pieces together. And I've seen some athletes try so hard to qualify and just miss out, and then other athletes qualify but not get the result they wanted to, and it's all down on the shelf. And like you talk about the post-Olympic blues or post-Paralympic blues or depression, and there's so many athletes who come down and can't actually handle everything that comes with being an Olympian or being a Paralympian as well. And I think I've kind of been I've experienced myself, I think, coming home from the 2018 games. I was 18 years old. I was kind of climbing up the ladder, making a name for myself. As an 18-year-old, as any 18-year-old, you think you're king, you think you're top of the world. My eyes were set on that gold medal. No one was got to take it away from me. And then, boom, got out in the first round of the border cross. And it was like, oh, okay, my day's done. And we do a second event as well, which we didn't touch on before, but we do bank slalom. And I didn't get a result in that. And boom, also out. And so I came home and, I was really down on myself. Everything to me was wrapped up in that result, and what my self-worth was wrapped up in snowboarding, and so much on the results. And what can I do now? My world has ended. Like, there's so much going on, but I think it slowly took time to actually go, you know what? None of these results matter. Like, for me, it's my self-worth and my actual happiness comes down to the values I live by. And if I can live true to my values, every day can be a good day. And so I went from a kind of value mindset, a kind of results-based mindset into a value-based mindset. And so I think from there, I could be happier whenever I had a bad day or didn't get the result I wanted. And I could take criticism and feedback on way better from anyone who actually wanted to help me, from coaches, from physios, from psychologists. I could actually separate myself as a snowboarder and separate my identity into like two little fractions of a person and a snowboarder, and be a better human would actually make me a better snowboarder as well. And so back to what you said before, if I know I put it all on the line and went out there in Milano-Cortina and like snowboarded to the best of my ability, and putting so much pressure on myself to do that, and training the lead up is harder than actually the games itself. If I could, if I did that and didn't achieve a podium result, I would come back happy. Like, I knew the people that beat me then deserve to beat me, because I actually put in so much work, put in so much effort, and I knew I snowboarded to the best of my ability, and their ability was just a little bit better, and that's okay.
Great way. That's a great attitude to have with that, Ben. And also, I think that's also a full circle moment too, where you're going to have young athletes watching you. You obviously do have young athletes watching you on the world stage, but if they're hearing that resolve, hearing that mentality, and given how much the sport has grown since when you were starting, when you've come from an area where you didn't even know what the Paralympics were, where we're going to have young kids right now growing up to aspire to be that way. They've got that mindset as well. It's going to make them be not only better athletes, but better human beings as well.
Yeah, I hope so. Actually, great touch point. I had this, and I'll share the story. I had this kid come up to me just after Beijing. I think it was the first or second day of the opening of Threadbow after the Northern Hemisphere season, and Tor Bright was still the Threadbow ambassador at the time, and she was doing her little like mini shred day, which I was a coach at, and so there was hundreds of kids coming up, meeting all the athletes, meeting the Olympians, meeting the Paralympians. It was really cool. But the first kid that came up to me was this young 6-year-old called Jeremy. Him and his mum came up to me, and they were like, "Oh, Jeremy is 6 years old. He was born with cerebral palsy, and this is his first day snowboarding, and he saw you on the TV at Beijing, and he just wanted to snowboard."
Wow.
After that. Like, and so yeah, that took me back. Like,
wow, it hit you in the feels right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was slowly wiping away tears when that happened, and going on from that moment, Jeremy is still snowboarding. Like, he's 8 or 9 years old. I see him every season now. And I'm like, he's better than me when I was that age. So
he's going to be beating you by 2030 at those Olympics.
yeah, fully. And so, yes, I guess that's what's so great about being a Winter Olympian, an Olympian, a Paralympian, is you forget how much you actually impact others. You do it for yourself, and so there is selfishness in being an athlete, because and especially an individual athlete, because the result is all you. You're doing it for your nation, but it comes down to what you want and how much effort you put in. But you forget the impact of the wider community and the audience that you've had. And so to have touch points like that, where you get reminded of, this is why I actually do it. Yeah, it's really cool, and it inspires me to keep on going.
Which is also, I think, a lot more powerful in Paralympics, because we've discovered that a lot with the Paralympians on this show. Similar story to you, Ben, that at a certain age they weren't even aware of the Paralympics or things like that. Whereas I think we are really entering that phase now where the Paralympics are very much getting on par, at least with the coverage of the Olympics. You know, networks are doing the best they can, and they every cycle it gets better and better. So we are having so many kids now who are exposed to this on a level that you could have dreamed of as a kid, or other young athletes could have as well. So I think the future is looking so much brighter and also the Winter Paralympic side of things too, because we talk about Australian Winter Olympians not getting the exposure in this country they deserve. I'm sure that's even less for the Paralympians as well. So hopefully we're getting to that point where I'm not going to have to ask questions like this again in a few years' time, because it's just going to be on the same level and we just talk about it as being the same.
Yeah, fully. I guess for me, the growth of watching the broadcasting and watching the actual popularity of the Winter Paralympics has absolutely gone crazy. Like the upward just trajectory of it. Like I think I said before, like in Sochi, we were broadcasted by ABC. No big broadcast company, Channel 9, Channel 10, 7, no one wanted to touch us, and ABC had to come over to do it. And so from then to now, going into my fourth games and being covered by Nine and seeing all the amazing work they've been doing behind the scenes and seeing the actual equality between the Olympics and the Paralympics, and watching, I guess, Paris as well was a true turning point. Like the coverage of the Paralympics in Paris was absolutely amazing. And so, it can only be an uphill trajectory again, like even more from here. And look, I don't think Paralympians ask for too much, but just to be on equal terms and equality is the main thing that we ask for. Just to be on an equal field as the Olympics, because honestly, no bias here, but I do.
You're meant to have it. You got to. Come on.
The Paralympic stories are
better,
cooler,
they're better,
more inspiring than the Olympic guys.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I think one thing that, we're good friends with Joanna Griggs on this show, and she, one of the biggest points she said to me about, with 9 getting the Olympics and 7 not getting it, and, obviously being disappointed she can't be involved with the coverage. To her, it was more disappointing losing the Paralympics, because her fondest memories and along those lines are up there with covering the Paralympics and the story she told me about during Tokyo and all that sort of stuff. It's she was devastated to be able to not tell those stories on that level. And another one too, I remember growing up, watching the Paralympics straight after the Olympics, and the one that always stood out for me on the Winter Paralympics, and I believe he's trying to come back, is he not? Michael Milton. That man is a beast. And then I remember I interviewed him when I was doing a radio show, many moons ago in Hobart. It was one of my favorite interviews. But did I read correctly that he's trying to come back again? He's like been retired for how long, and he's in his 40s and he's coming back again?
I don't think he'll mind me saying this, but I think Milton's in his 50s.
In his 50s? Whoa, good on you. Wow.
But how bloody good. Like, I know. Respected the man. Like, I met him back in the day when I was starting out. Like, I think he was actually a coach in Sochi. Like, he was coaching the ski team in Sochi. And so I met him there, and legend as he is. Like, growing up, I kind of knew the name of Milto, and 6 Paralympic gold medals. And so for him to come back now is, truly inspiring to me. And let's hope he can do it.
Yeah, or everything crossed him, because he switched to cycling and go to Summer Paralympics from memory after he retired skiing.
Maybe one summer. Maybe he did one too.
I think he did, but no, he's a great guy. And when I saw that he was coming back, I was like, good on him.
Yeah, we did this uniform launch, the Paralympic uniform launch at Admiralty House in Kirribilli last week, and we got all the long list Paralympians together, and he was there. And so, it was cool to get everyone together and just put on some uniform, try everything out. Thanks to Aaron Williams, we decked out in the coolest ski, I reckon.
Yeah.
But it was just cool.
Never gets old. I can imagine that never gets old, putting on the green and gold. And because every Paralympics is different, obviously, different style of uniform as well. So is that always exciting, those days when you kind of get a bit of a sneak peek of what it will be?
Oh, it definitely is. It's always an honor to put on the green and gold. And I think we're doing it a bit differently now, where we normally just see the gear when we go to the games. But the Paralympics Australia think it's a good idea. And they haven't, I know they've done it a couple times for the Summer Paralympics, but they've never done it for the Winter Games to actually have a uniform launch and let everyone, let the media, let Australia see our uniform and for us to see our uniform before we go.
I've got to ask, I know we're sort of covered a lot there on mentality and doing your best and everything. I do kind of have to touch on the result aspect, Ben, because I loosely mentioned earlier that since Beijing, you've been on a tear up. You've been absolutely in hot form. Bronze, as we know, in Beijing. But then since then, world champion you are, 2023 in the cross. This year, bronze in the World Championships as well. You've a couple of crystal globes. You touched on the bank slalom as well. You've medaled in that as well. I mean, based on sort of what has passed since Beijing to now, are you feeling in the best form of your career heading now into your fourth Paralympics based on everything that you've achieved and where you're at right now in life?
Yeah. I think I am. I know physically and mentally I'm in top form, and I laugh because I think snowboarding is the easy part. Get me on a snowboard, and yeah, I'm good. It's all easy, and so yeah, training days and competition. It's like it's kind of just a natural repetition, and I think every single competition is just another bit of training for the next one and more experience. And so how I kind of look at it and what my approach is, I guess, going into this game too, is the next competition is the most important comp. And so I got a comp coming up, the first comp of the Northern Hemisphere season. The first comp of this season is in the Netherlands at an indoor arena in late November.
Nice.
And so all eyes are towards that. And the games, I'm actually not even thinking about. They're not in my sight.
End of the season, Ben. That's in the future.
There's something long gone. And so, yeah, I guess that's kind of my mentality, and it's worked. It's worked for me. And yes, it's definitely been a successful couple of years, and I've swapped coaches. I've had a couple more teammates come in. I have joined more of an Australian system now too. And so, yeah, it's honestly, I can say it's been pretty easy going these last 4 years. Going into this game, there's not been many hiccups. There's not been many just anything. So, yeah, I definitely feel like I'm in fine top form, and yeah, like I said, snowboarding's the easy part.
I love hearing it explained that way. I'm sitting here writing notes, watching your amazing career. Going, man, I can't even stand up on skis or a snowboard, let alone even try that. It's like, that's easy. Here you go. Put it on your feet. Go on. That's the easy part. Come on. You know, I can do it. Anyone can do it. There. I got to ask. We always ask our guests, won Olympic, Paralympic medals, what they do with them. But I'm sort of more intrigued what you do with everything. I mean, like, do you have to have like a bloody shed for all these medals and crystal globes? Because crystal globes aren't exactly small either. So I kind of like, do you have a shelf? Does mum have them somewhere? What do you do with them all?
I honestly don't know where half the stuff is. I give it to mum and she puts it somewhere.
He does it. Okay.
I can tell you the Paralympic medal is in my room right now.
Okay.
I kind of know where that is. But I have to say, I think the funniest part is I do a bit of public speaking around to school groups and corporate groups, and I still always bring the medal because you have to.
Yep.
And I give it round and I share it round, and it's I think they care more about the medal than me actually talking, but that's okay. But I probably care for at least. I'm like, yeah, go for it. Like, tuck it out the window.
Well, it's gotta be worn, isn't it? It's gotta be all cracked and damaged.
Exactly. And every single crack, every single mark is just another experience, another memory.
It's gotta be that way. You know what's funny about it, Ben, is that like I love hearing about that, because there are some athletes who will be like, oh no, I've got to get it cleaned or whatever. But most people are just like, just shove it in a sock drawer, whatever. It's got cracks, whatever. Yeah. The one that baffled me recently with all the Sydney 25th anniversary talk, Ian Thorpe posted a thing on social media that he keeps his in a vault and that he never touches them. And then
Whoa.
only recently he had like a get together with friends and family where they went to this like bank vault and got them all out. They were all shiny. Like, I mean, I respect the guy's got a lot of Olympic medals and it's Ian freaking Thorpe, but I mean, would you want to see him? Like, I want to look at it and go, cool, look at this, shove it in a bank vault and see it every 10 years. Come on, Ian.
How many does he have? Like 22?
Oh, like 6,327.
If I get that many, maybe I'll get a vault for it.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah. Michael Milton's probably got his in a vault, right?
Yeah, Milton probably has. Phelps probably has. Yeah. Maybe it's a Michael's.
Yeah, maybe. Fort Knox is basically, I think, where Michael Phelps has got his probably, right? Yeah. Like, it's crazy to think that. Ben, we're going to get to a set of get to know yourself questions we always like to do sort of to wrap up. But two things I want to touch on. I was, as I said, watching a bunch of your sort of interviews and videos and that on YouTube, but I enjoyed the little one you did with Kurt Fernley with the driving of the Toyotas. And you mentioned in that about how you've got that need for speed and that you sort of love that. I mean, when you get invited to do something like that, I can't imagine you've said yes before you've even got the invitation, right? Like if you get to drive like that in a racetrack, I mean, that must be a pretty cool experience. Well,
I got to give Toyota the support and love for that.
Yes, plug the sponsors as well. I'm doing that as an initial way to get some free love to Toyota. Go for it.
But what a day that was, driving around that track as fast as I could was amazing. Just being with Kurt Fernley, what a legend of the sport. It's cool. But what was hilarious about that interview, I learnt that if you ever have a tough interview, if you ever want to have a tough conversation, just put a person in the car and let them drive, because all the truth will come out.
Wow. I'm going to write that down, all right?
Yeah, exactly. Because you don't think when you're driving and just the absolute truth comes out.
Wow.
And so, I probably said some things that I saw like, oh my God, I haven't said that ever. Like,
shouldn't have said that. Didn't know that was really...
Yeah, exactly.
What an interesting way of looking at it. Because I remember when I lived in Canada and I was doing sort of a separate podcast, I remember interviewing a fellow podcast host, and his podcast, he was a pilot, and he would get his guests in his little small plane and do like scenic flights around Vancouver Island. It was an amazing idea, and the interviews were fantastic. But he talked about a similar thing that like, it's very intimate. It's literally you and another person in a small little aircraft that people open up more. Yeah. So I'm doing this wrong, Ben, sitting in a bloody, closed box with some fancy things behind me. I need to get out there. Like, can I interview on a snowboard? I mean, I'm going to fall over you.
Maybe chairlift talk.
Maybe chairlift talk. That's clever. I've got to get out there a little bit more because it's a great way of looking at it, isn't it?
Yeah. I think any closed box, any connection is a good way to open up.
If Toyota are listening or watching,
Yeah. And maybe me and you can start our own podcast.
Do it, absolutely. That could work. You could be driving, I could be in the front seat, and then we can just get, Michael Milton, first guest in the back seat. There he is.
Yeah.
Exactly. Get Thorpe to get all his medals in the boot. That'll probably weigh us down a little bit.
Out of the vault,
Yeah. Come on, Thorpe, get him out of the vault.
Come on.
Doesn't like doing podcasts, Thorpe, apparently. So maybe that's what it takes to get him into one.
Yeah. Maybe we could be the first one.
We can crack that podcast cherry there for Thorpe. Who knows? The other one I've got to ask you, Ben. Now, I've had a bit of a birdie tap me on the shoulder and tell me a bit of a story about you, which I want to hear from your perspective. Now, I heard a little bit of a rumor after Beijing that there was a bit of a big night, bit of a party going on once winning your medal. And I believe you had your hair cut by a skier who might have been visually impaired. Now, I would like to hear a little bit more about this story to find out exactly, because I'm picturing something here, but I don't know where I'm picturing that from.
Do you want to embarrass me more?
Absolutely. That's why I'm not in a car driving fast, but I can do the best I can.
Okay. Let's just say we're in the car right now.
Okay, good.
Yes? Right. Okay, after a game, everyone's having a good time. Everyone's having fun. You're with the team. You're just, after the closing ceremony, I was a flag bearer at Beijing, came back, and the whole ski village was going off, parties and everything. Got back, got on the drink, had a little party myself, and looked at the time, and it was 5 a.m.
Wow, you were on the drink.
We were on the piss. We were celebrating. First medal, come on. But we had to be up at 7 a.m. to get the bus back to Beijing to get a flight to Australia, back home.
Wow.
But I turned to Pat Jensen, my blind teammate who I love dearly, great mate of mine. And I was like, hey, you're drunk, I'm drunk. I have really long hair right now, like probably down to my shoulder length or something. You can cut my hair. What a great idea. So we spend the next hour setting it up in the bathroom, doing whatever. We don't have scissors. He has a razor.
Wow.
And he's chonking at my thick, lush bloody hair. Like I have the thickest set of hair in the world. That's why I wear a hat half the time. And so he just yonking so hard at my hair. I wake up the next day and I go, where is my hair? Don't even remember. And then like, oh my God, on the bus down, he's like, yeah, don't you remember? Like, I cut your hair. Thinking like, he's visually impaired. He's legally blind.
And drunk.
And like, piss drunk. So he's blind and blind. And I'm like, what the hell did I do? What the hell am I thinking? But got to the airport or got home to Australia. The first thing Mum said to me is, oh, Ben, I really like your hair. Great hair. I'm like, oh, thanks, Mum. I'm not going to tell you where I got it.
Well, it's safe to say two things there. One, I hope you weren't on like Sunrise the next morning or something like that with Koshi or somebody doing an interview. And two, I'd hate to see what happens when you win the gold in Milan. If that's what happens when you win the bronze, you're going to come back bald and without an arm, probably.
Probably two legs off.
Yep.
One finger, one arm.
Yep.
But yeah, no hair.
Yep.
Who knows? Maybe I'm saying it here. Maybe my hair will be blue.
Hey, look, if that's what you want to go for, like, you know, why not? I mean, that's just the trademark. Win a Paralympic medal, do something with the hair, right? You know?
What stays in Cortina, what happens in Cortina stays in Cortina.
And this is Italy. I'm not disrespecting our great friends in China, but I think Italy has a bit more of a drinking culture than China. So
yeah, exactly. I'll tell you, it was hard to get alcohol into China.
There you go. See, that's what I'm saying, right? Lord help you if you make it to bloody France and then Salt Lake in 2034. Jesus Christ.
I'll be 80. I'll be 84 at my last one. Bloody on the god time.
Oh, gotta love those stories. So Pat doesn't have a future in hairdressing. Then that's what we're also saying. Maybe if he wants to. You know, I mean, if he successfully did it and your mum liked it.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you one more thing. We came to the airport at Beijing, and Matt Carmichael from Channel 7 was there. Mm-hmm. And you talk about like Channel 7 presenters and how they like Joe Griggs and how she was so disappointed of not making the games. Matt Carmichael was the biggest supporter of like Paralympics, and he was just outstanding. To the summer guys to us, he was just absolutely incredible. Mm-hmm. I don't think we'll get another Matt Carmichael in our time. Yeah. But he was there at the games, and he interviewed me when I got the medal. He was the one doing everything, but he got down and he went absolutely hysterical when I told him the story. When we told him the story, he could not stop laughing. It was so funny. Fantastic. And he probably was laughing through the whole Beijing airport. It was going hysterical for like 2-3 hours.
Channel 9 are going to watch this now, and they're going to put this in your bio ahead of the games next year, right? Do you have photos of it at all?
I think I do.
All right. If you want to send me a couple.
You may want to see, you may not.
Yeah, well, you decide that for me after I hit stop on this bit, and then maybe people are seeing this side by side right now in our video version. You know you've sent it to me. Otherwise, picture it.
This has got to be the main tag of our interview today.
You won't believe what happened to Ben. It's like news.com.au, you know, just kind of very clickbaity, funny. Right? Funny. You know, Ben Tudhope admits something. And anyway. Ben, we close off every single interview with a set of get to know you style questions. Some fun, some serious, and hopefully some great information to come from it. I'll start with the one thing that you never leave home without when traveling to a competition. And you can't say you snowboard because I'm guessing that's pretty important for a competition.
Yeah. Something special to me that I always bring in my little wallet, like in my little card holder.
Mm-hmm.
I have a tiny photo from about 2003 or something, and I was like 3 years old when people actually used to print stuff on photos. A photo of my family.
Oh,
nice. I bring that everywhere, which is just a nice reminder.
Great. I like that. And I also respect the fact that you use a wallet because I was told recently if you use a wallet, you're old. And I don't give a shit. I use a wallet. So
okay, well, maybe I'm old.
Hey, is there an international council of deciding what's old and not? Like, when you see a news article, if you use a wallet, you're old. I'm like, well, who the fuck decides that?
Hey, I use an iPad too, so I may be 2 years old or I may be over bloody 7.
Here's a groundbreaking news for you and our viewers. I use pen and paper for notes. See? That's how old I am. I've got some screens in front of me too, but this also helps. A tradition or superstition you follow before every big competition?
Oh, here's another story for you. I wear Star Wars socks.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I did not tell the media at all going into Beijing.
Yep.
But somehow it got out that Ben Tudhope wears Star Wars socks.
Wow. And
all the media, except for Australia, wanted to know what socks is Ben Tudhope wearing. And so I win the bronze medal. I go do my media thing. Like, we spend probably over an hour doing the whole carousel around the media and everything. Yep. And every single country wants me to take my boot off, show what socks. And I'm like, no, I just want a medal. I'm not showing you my socks. I don't care. They're my socks.
Wow.
But I'll tell you this, on race, so like I got a set of 12.
Yep.
And on the race day, I always wear my Yoda sock.
Okay, all right.
It gives you the most force.
All right, that's a good win bronze medal. You must.
There you go.
I was going to ask you have a preference, prequels, sequels, or original trilogy, but I mean Yoda. I'm guessing it's original trilogy, right? That's always the answer.
Yeah, I grew up in the era of not knowing between the prequels and the OGs. So 1 to 6 was like 1 to 6 for me. I didn't actually know, so still to this day, it's probably, I don't have a preference, but 1, 2 to 6 is just how it is.
I respect that, Ben, because I'm a little bit older than you, but I was of that sort of very young teenage age once the prequels came out. So they were written for people like us, right? George Lucas wrote them for kids, so that was beautiful for us. So I never was in that era of, these are shit, these aren't like the originals. I mean, I love the originals, of course I do, but to me, I'm hitting puberty when Natalie Portman's getting half a closure. I mean, I'm in love. She was my future wife. Anakin's the coolest guy ever. Obi-Wan, like, Jar Jar was awesome. I was 12 when that came out. So, no, I'm with you. Prequels rock.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sequels, they're all right.
Forget about them.
We stop at 6. We don't. Maybe 7, but then 8 and 9 don't exist. So
someone's TV shows are good.
Yeah, true. I mean, the TV shows are good. I'll give you that as well. A song that is on every one of your pre-competition playlists, no matter what.
Okay, I'm just getting weirder and weirder by every single minute this podcast.
I'm loving these questions now. All of a sudden, these are my favorite.
But Time by Hans Zimmer.
Oh, okay.
Of Inception.
Yeah.
Song of Inception I listen to before every single race.
Fantastic. I'm so surprised actually. Now that you say that, it's like a light bulb moment. Why don't more athletes listen to like epic instrumental music? Because that's got to get you in the zone.
I know. It's real. Like, I just think it's really cool. And it doesn't really pump me up, but it's like chills me out.
Yeah.
Because it's like the beat of it is actually the piano key is like boom, boom, but it's actually the same beat, the same time throughout the whole song. So it ramps up and it gets really intense. But that piano piece is the same time.
Yep.
the whole song.
And I love that level of it because, I mean, they are obviously written for epic moments in film or TV, but one of my favorite things of every Olympics and Paralympics is not that I like it when they're over because I get very sad, but they do the big epic montage at the end, right? And they usually do some big epic songs, slow motion victory moments. There's Ben with his bronze medal getting his head shaved, all that sort of stuff. But like it's just that moment and that music really amps you up. And to this day, I have got a playlist of songs that either Channel 7, Channel 9, ABC, Channel 10 have used as their... I mean, I've still got, I think, Sydney 2000, it was like Andrea Bocelli, from 2000. Just so good, things like that. But that just...
Hey, can I just stop you there?
Yeah.
I so want Andrea Bocelli to sing at the opening ceremony of the Winter Paralympics.
Every chance he will, Ben, because, look,
there we go.
We obviously had the great late Pavarotti do Turin in 2006, and now that he's no longer with us, it's like I'm thinking them or Il Divo, but we want Bocelli, No disrespect to Il Divo.
Come on.
Good.
Well, he's also visually impaired, so come to the Paralympics.
Absolutely perfect. Like if that you're a visionary, Ben, because I think that's going to happen, and people are going to watch and listen to this.
Bocelli's watching this.
Yep.
Come on.
Exactly. Plenty of them. The most unexpected or funny direct message you've ever gotten as a Paralympian?
Okay. Recently, like just maybe a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month or something ago, this girl reached out to me and she sent me this photo and said, "You probably won't remember me, but you gave me a little Australia koala pin at the Sochi Paralympic Games when I was 14, and sent me a photo." She is probably, I don't even know how old she is. She's probably 6 or 7, I'm 14. And I'm so young, she's so young. But she reached out to me just the other day.
Oh, wow.
And it was amazing. And I wrote back to her and we've had a conversation now. And it was really cool seeing the photo and seeing the koala pin that she still has.
Fantastic. Wow. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. We always get interesting answers for that question, but that's up there. That's a very good one.
Cool.
I like that. Interesting.
I didn't unexpected. That was so unexpected.
Well, it's got on that. I didn't usually ask my standard question. I asked Ben about things like pin trading in the Olympic Village and kind of like, life outside of the competition. I mean, do you relish that kind of thing when you're in the villages doing things like that?
I try to. In Sochi, back when I was 14, yes, it was all on my mind. Probably more than competing with pin trading. There was another guy in power snowboarding who was the absolute ultimate pin trader. He had everything. A US guy. He had every single pin under the sun, and I'm like, I want to be you. I want every single pin you have. And so that was always my goal, and it probably has gotten less and less going into more and more games that I do go to. But you know what? Like Milano-Cortina, let's start it up again, I reckon.
Well, we'll have some pins we will get made. So we'll send you some pins. I've still got some Paris ones if you want them too, but no, we'll have our I will say this, breaking news, we just got our cherry designed up, our mascot of the show, which is he's on an oil painting there and he's hidden behind me above Frege and in between Tina there. But we get sort of a little design made up in the lead up to each Olympics, and we got a couple of designs of him doing some winter sports, which I won't reveal just yet, but they'll be on a pin, Ben.
That's very cool.
We'll get one sent out to you there. The weirdest thing you've ever eaten at an international competition, and did you like it?
We had a comp right up north in the Yukon of Canada.
Yep.
And we ate bison up there.
Oh, okay.
So, and it was kind of nice. I had a bison burger.
Bison burger? Itself.
Bison burger.
That sounds all right.
Yeah, it was it was like in between a elk and a like just normal beef or cow.
Yeah. Okay.
So, it wasn't too bad.
I like this question because, again, it just always brings out unique food taste. Well, not like as in of different countries. And
bison was pretty good.
Yeah, okay, all right. And speaking of food, your ultimate guilty pleasure meal after a big competition.
Oof. I've never had it before after comp, but I will say if I could, just a Golden Gay time.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah,
I like ice cream, definitely, but for being specific,
Golden Gay
Golden
time.
Gay
Yeah.
time.
Oh, that is
That would be amazing.
I had a conversation in the last little while with a friend of mine who's lived overseas for a bit, and when I was living overseas, and we were talking about the things you miss, when you are overseas, as I'm sure you're aware when you're competing. And of the things that I miss, a Golden Gay time came up. Like, oh, that's such a good ice cream. And actually, I was walking somewhere here in Melbourne the other day, and there was some store. I need to find it. They had the tub ice cream, like scoops. I get a scoop, and they had a Golden Gay time like scoop ice cream. So I need to go back there and try it.
Oh, there you go. Boom. Well, give me a whole tub, and I'll take it.
I'll ship it over to you.
Yeah.
Oh, no, good answer. I like it. Yeah, fantastic answer. If you could swap sports for a day with another Paralympian, what event would you choose, and how do you think you would fare?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I'll be no good at anything I do because I'm very lucky I found snowboarding at an early age because I'm no good at any other sport. But I think parasurfing is coming up to the games in LA. Okay. And maybe be mistaken, but parasurfing is trying to get into the games. Yep. I know. And so, maybe surfing.
I like that. Yeah, I did. I think I saw in an interview that you did that you said, back to what we're talking about, your personality and everything. You kind of have that surfer's mentality, so it's kind of like that would work well with that, I think, as well. So yeah.
I live in the northern beaches of Sydney, so I'm probably 5 minutes away from the beach. I should surf more. I'm a really bad surfer. I should be good, but I'm not. But I do love going out sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, given that you live in the snow, any chance to get to a beach, right? Like,
I know. I think that's what I love, like the comparison of coming back home and being at somewhere so completely different to what I actually do.
Yep. And also, the thing that always amazes me about Australian winter athletes is that they always seem to, like, unless you're growing up in Thredbo or Jindabyne or something like that, they always seem to come from like the beach. Like, it's just, it's fascinating, isn't it? There seems to be you're either from near the snow or you're from a beach. There's never, nobody's just from the suburbs of Brisbane, are they?
No. Like, even one of my teammates, he's from WA. Yeah. So nowhere near the snow, but he lives near the beach in WA.
It's crazy. And the weirdest thing is, Ben, is that if you look at a list of Australian Paralympians and Olympians, Winter Paralympians and Olympians, every state and territory has had an Olympian or a Paralympian, except for my home state of Tasmania, arguably the coldest state of all of Australia. How have we not had a Paralympian or an Olympian in the Winter Paralympics or Olympics? I'm bemused. Like, come on.
Oh, that's terrible. Come on, Tassie.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Tassie. I feel really bad. But I so want to go. I want to go snowboarding in Tassie.
It's funny because like we have this like Ben Lomond, I think technically they still ski there, and then Mount Field used to, but we've obviously got Mount Wellington overlooking Hobart, which is, as a kid you got there, you'd experience snow. It was fantastic. But not that they would ever do it because they can't even build a cable car up it. That's a whole other political debate, Ben. But like if they were able to create a ski field up there where you could snowboard and ski like that close to a capital city in Australia, like it would go gangbusters. I guarantee it.
Okay. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, I think Grouse Mountain over Vancouver. It's like looking over the city. It looks incredible.
Yeah. It's like, I guess because, we in Australia, our ski mountains aren't exactly that close to a big city, are they? They're multiple hours away. So, those vicinities, I guess.
6 hours in the car.
Yeah, exactly right. And particularly from Manly, I mean, when you're a mountain there, right? So when it comes to that.
No mountains around here.
And if there are, then something's going on with global warming, I think. There's a mountain all of a sudden above Manly. I love this question, man. If your Olympic journey, or Paralympic journey, were a movie, what would the title be and who would play you?
Oh.
It's a tough
whenever
one.
I get asked who would play me, I always jokingly answer Morgan Freeman. But
resemblance is uncanny.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But closer to home, I reckon the perfect person to play me is Walter White Jr.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes.
So I reckon that would be actually a pretty cool reenactment.
And it's not even, I don't even think it's like it's the obvious what people are probably thinking of. You actually kind of do resemble him.
Yeah. It is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But this is actually kind of cool. I've done a talk with RJ Mitty.
Oh, wow.
As well. I got to meet online, but we were doing a talk for the Cerebral Palsy Alliance, and he jumped on too, and I'm a big Breaking Bad fan.
Wow.
No way, I'm
mind blown, yeah.
Junior, so still an ultimate kind of cool thing. But the name of the movie.
If you struggle, ChatGPT have given me some suggestions here. But by all means, if you can't, I'll go over some of them here. I've got a mock poster which I'm going to try and show you once that loads as well. But all right, so what ChatGPT has suggested, they've gone here, and again, let's be honest, some of these aren't exactly fantastic. They've gone Edge of Gold, Riding the Storm, The Bright Edge, Against the Ice. This one here's, Unstoppable, the Ben Tudhope story.
Oh,
that almost sounds like something you'd watch on Channel 9 on a Monday night at 7:30. Not going to the movies.
Some promo.
Yeah. No disrespect to Channel 9. I'm just saying that sounds very commercial TV. Beyond the Board, Breaking the Line, Born to Ride, Snowfall, and Momentum. I didn't mind Born to Ride because I feel like you could have, isn't that a Bruce Springsteen song?
Yeah.
So, you could have that going on there. But
I think Born to Ride.
Yeah, okay. So what I did with Chat, so I get them to do a mock poster up here. And again, for our audio listeners, go to our YouTube version right now and you can see this. And I'm concerned about this because I said to them, make it like Australian. Put some Australian fans in the background. And for some reason, they think Australia's Brazil. See if you can spot the issue with the flags in the background here. But this is their photo, their poster they've gone with you. But they've got the long hairs going on for you there. Pat hasn't got the
obviously
things.
Pat haven't cut it, so. But
I'm a bit worried here, ChatGPT. What country is Ben from?
Hey, at least there's one of the flag.
There is. There's one behind your elbow. Meanwhile, the Brazilian flags are fucking loving you.
Brazil is strong enough for
Brazil. And then you got some weird hybrid here in the corner of like a Brazil colours mixed with, I don't even know what that is. Yep. That's why we don't use AI for everything. But there you go.
That is great. Hey, let's keep it. Let's keep Brazil.
Yeah, there you go. Brazil. If you see a Brazilian flag cheering you on, they've listened to this. But there you go. Born to Ride. We'll get the Bruce Springsteen rights. That will work. Two to go, Ben. What's the one question you're tired of being asked, and what is the one you wish people would ask you instead?
Ooh.
I'm always worried for this one because I might have asked you this question if you're
Oh. I think the classic is, does it snow in Australia?
Yep.
But
it always seems to be a case, and maybe they think we're from Brazil.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. Ooh.
If there's not one, is there a question that maybe you like, is there something that you'd like to talk about more? Like if there's, maybe not necessarily a question, but is there something maybe about your journey, about sort of your sport, something that maybe you'd like to be able to talk a little bit more that people could ask you a bit more about?
I think for us, it's like there's always a kind of surprise thing about do you do what the able bodies do? Mm-hmm. Like, kind of like, not like a positive way, but more in a negative thing. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, yeah, of course we do.
Yeah.
And so I think that there's still a stigmatism between just being a Paralympic athlete, being person with a disability as an athlete, thinking, oh, the sport isn't good enough, our skill level isn't good enough, our talent isn't good enough. And like it's like I train pretty much all season with the able-bodied team, with Cam, with Josie, with Belle, with Jared, with Mia. Like they're all my mates. Like, and I grew up snowboarding with all like every single Winter Olympian now is like the people who I grew up snowboarding with, who I learned to snowboard with. So we all know each other. We're all really good friends, and it's like, of course, I'm doing just what they're doing. Like, there's kind of no question to it, but we do definitely get asked that quite a bit.
It is. It's back to sort of saying about how, we are getting to a period where it's sort of on par, getting as equal as it has been, but there is still that, almost an ignorance, isn't there, of sort of just asking
it's
questions.
Definitely an ignorance, and like my response is kind of just watch.
Yeah.
Because as soon as people watch, they kind of shut up. As well. Because it's like, oh, he actually can snowboard.
Yeah.
Like it's like, yeah. And so I think that, there's still that stigmatism to get over. But as soon as people watch us, it's like, they
shut up.
Sport.
Yeah. And if they don't, they should shut up. Just,
Yeah, exactly.
That works.
Exactly.
The last one for you, Ben. This is the big, deep, meaningful one of the interview. What is one lesson you have learnt from losing that has shaped you more than winning?
Oh, I think we touched on it before, but just live by your values.
Yep.
Not off your results.
Yep.
And I think I'll touch on it again, but the value-based living is so much better. You will have such a better outlook and lifestyle and just love life even more than what you do, and not give yourself such downtime, be so negative towards yourself. And if you live with gratitude, with kindness, with empathy to others, you actually feel it in return to yourself. And so, again, going back on the performance, like if you have a bad performance on the day, you can come back happy because you live true to who you are and actually take on feedback, take on criticism a lot better than if you were just so down in the dumps and don't want to listen to anyone about your actual result or your actual technique to actually make you have a bad performance.
Yeah, no, completely agree with that. And that's why we always ask this question at the end now, because it's sort of it gives you that moment where you can sort of recircle and say that and end a bit inspirationally, Ben, right?
Yeah. But I think, that's an important lesson that I've been taught, and I think how I go by now.
And I think it's working for you absolutely fantastically, because obviously
trying to
what you've achieved and what you're set to achieve, Ben, because obviously so many great things to come for you, and we definitely appreciate your time here on the show. And just for people at home who are listening, watching, whatever they're doing, to follow your journey, social media, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, where can they follow you?
Yep, just a name, Ben Tudhope. I try to post on and keep up to date on Instagram. And I don't really have a TikTok, but Instagram is probably the best place to find me. My website too, bentudhope.com. And that's about it.
So TikTok exists, but just not regularly posting on it, or
no post yet. May become a post eventually, but just not now.
You seem like me. You get it and you go, cool. What do I do with this now?
I don't think it's downloaded on my phone, but I definitely have an account.
Yeah,
somewhere, somehow.
Yep. Yeah. No, trust me. We post stuff on there, but do I know what we're doing? No. So
is that like another category of being old or not?
Yeah, I think so. But this is the thing I find though, because yes, but then people say your age, where I think because you're 10, 13 years younger than me, but there are still people of your age who sort of look at it and go, what do I do? It's...
Yeah, for sure. I think the Gen Zs, as you call, you can have the old Gen Zs and young ones too. And the old ones don't really know what's going on, but some are young and some are old, and it's I'm on that old side of things.
Well, you know, funny thing you talk about this is that I was, you know, it is that question sometimes you think like, at what point do you consider yourself old? And I always thought it was like, I'm going to turn on the radio one day and I'm going to listen to the music and be like my parents, like, music these days is shit. And I've not reached that level yet because I still generally listen to new music. But one that hit me the other day, and this sounds really silly, particularly as an Australian because, you know, we're not American, but to me, it's maybe the Super Bowl halftime performer when all of a sudden I start looking and going, really? Them? So I was a bit that way this year with Kendrick Lamar. No disrespect to Ken. I'm not starting a war here, but I definitely was one of those people who watched it and went, not for me. And now I don't really know who Bad Bunny is. I've heard of like one of his songs.
Yeah,
so
that's the same with me. I'm not sure about Bad Bunny, but I think he's really big in that US market and he's Hispanic too. So
yeah, I think like I get it, like big deal, huge deal. But yeah, I think given now I've got 2 Super Bowl halftime performances in a row where I've gone,
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But, hey, Snoop Dogg at the AFL show.
How
so
good.
So good.
Ben, I was there. And I saw it in person. And to all the media outlets who said the crowd weren't liking it, you were wrong. Everyone went off. Snoop was amazing.
I wish I was.
Yeah. No, he was worth. I mean, you might see him because he's going to Milan again. I think too for NBC. So
hopefully he'll stay for the Paralympics.
I was going to say I think he buggered off before the Paralympics in Paris, didn't he? So hopefully he sticks around. Snoop.
I hope he does. I think he would have a better time at the Paralympics.
Exactly. Come on, Snoop. Mr. Dog, if you're listening, come on. Get you there.
Yeah, there you go.
Ben, mate, absolute thrill. Absolute honor to have you here on the show and to hear your story and just everything else. We've got everything crossed for you between now and Milano-Cortina, but no matter what happens, we'll get you back on afterwards and we'll chat about those 4th Paralympics and hopefully with a nice shiny bit of gold jewelry around your neck that can be lost with the other one.
Let's hope. Thank you, Ben. It was great to talk.